Good evening. The hooves today were on at Warwick Farm. Uh, Hawkesbury was on Sunday, 3 days ago. I'll give you a quick rundown there for what it's worth. The track was good. This is at Hawkesbury. The rail was 3 metres out from the 1200 to the 800. It was 5 metres out from the 800 to the winning post. There was a light southeasterly, had no effect on the any results at all. The track played very fair. You could win on the fence, no more for the favourite, and you could win on the fence, and you could also come down the outside. So the track played very fair. The first race at Hawkesbury was won by the Avery, Hooked Me Up. It only won by 4 3/4 lengths, had 100 yards on them. It led on the fence. Bookies bet you lay 2 on early. It was laid on, but there's only 2 pros turned up, or one really. The other one didn't play. The rest of the pros, they were out on the harbour having lobster mornay in the afternoon, Sunday afternoons. Unfortunately, you can't bet on the boats anymore. But anyway, the favourite Hooked Me Up. It treated them with contempt, straight to the lead, and that was the end of the section. It started 5 to 2 on, $1.40, and won like a 5 to 1 on chance. In that first race, well, look, even though there were no pros there, and it was a wine and food festival day, there was a lot of noise and racket and plenty of food and drink, but not many punters there. Second race, it was won by a horse called the favourite, Zakuka, trained by John O'Shea, ridden by the whiz kid from one of the whiz kids from New Zealand, Jay Collette, and it missed a Kickby 3 lengths. Well, it wasn't a bad performance. It's only having a second start in the race. Missed a Kickby 3 lengths. It moved up down the side, joined them, and came right down the outside, as I say, and won by a half a length, beating the second pick. They let your bookies gave evens. We put it up odds on $1.80, got to evens, and started about $1.70 chance, 11 to 8 on chance, and it won closer to a 7 to 4 on, 2 to 1 on chance. It was most probably the best performance of the day. The third race, we saw the second favourite beat the very short price favourite here. Cantonese beat Solmini, who its colours were a little bit lowered. They say it was going down to the Victorian Derby. Don't know about now, but Cantonese was $4 was given about Cantonese. Opened up $2.50, $2.50 second pick. Got to $4, back into $3.50, whereas the favourite Solomini, Solomon, it opened up $1.70, and it was laid on. It was laid on and started 5 to 2 on. And really, if you run the race again, the winner would have to be clear favourite, and it would be odds on for sure. And Solomon would be it would be well odds against. The margin was 2.5 lengths. Cantonese sat outside the lead, and the favourite had every possible chance to get it, but it couldn't. The fourth race was won by another favourite, a Studer out of the Snowden camp, who had the favourite in the previous, and it was a good ride here by Christian Reith. Settled just behind the pace, got around their heels turning for home, and was able to run down the leader, who's not very strong, Gunner's Babe, and beat it by a half a length on the line. They got away from the others, was 3 lengths back to the third horse, more or less all of them having their chance. There was one runner that got trapped wide in the run. It was Lonrose Star. The winner, as I say, just got there by half a length, but they got away from the others, and the good ride got it home. That's about all you would say there. Fairly average bunch. The next race, Snowden again with the favourite, Boston Tea. Now this was a result for the captains. Started $3 favourite, unlayable. We put it up evens, and it never stopped getting out of the market. Went from evens to twos, and it won. It won well. Won the 1.3 lengths, beating the second and third favourites, which were Lee Nizam, who got held up slightly in the run, and Lucky Sparkle. Both were well backed. $4.80 was given about Lee Nizam. Only started $4, hard to get, and the $4 was taken about Lucky Sparkle, started about $3.80, $3.70. And as I say, the opening favourite, Boston Tea and winner, it never stopped getting out of the market. It was a big result for the captains because it was unliable. It went from the evens to twos. There wasn't much pace in this race, and that's what got it home. It set outside the leader, Chiliad, who gave in quickly. It was able to get to the lead well before the turn, Boston Tea, and that was the winning factor. Race 6, here we saw another favourite, and this one was trained by Gay Waterhouse. It went up $1.80 Chronicle and got out to evens, but it was taken by the pro. He how much the captains for whatever they wanted. He got me twice for a couple of thousand each time, and it started at $1.70. It was a good ride. Leading in the race was Crusader King, and it Glenn, it was Crusader King. It went straight to the lead and set a fairly solid pace, and Chronicle was in behind it on the fence, and sitting outside it was the horse to finish up running third, Hazaroff, and before the turn, Crusader King had tried to skip away. Hazaroff had to go out after it, and this allowed the favourite Chronicle to get off their heels, and it might have actually, I'm not too sure, I forget, it might have gone inside. No, it didn't. It went around the leader and got a split, and it held on and beat the Hazaroff, who was very easy in the market. Would have been a very good result for the captains. It went from about $6 out to $10, and the second pick ran second. So they did run 1, 2, 3. The second pick ran second. Power Struggle, it was $2.80 out to $4.60, back into $4 well back, and they ran 1, 2, 3. The margins being 1.2, 1.5. They all had their chance. Not much good, those horses. And the race 7, we saw the another favourite win, and a double to Gay. No, what am I talking about? Another favourite, but this was trained by Gerald Ryan, ridden by Tommy Berry, terrific Tommy Berry, who had the previous winner, and it went straight to the lead. Took no prisoners, Rock This World, and it was also a very good result for the captains. We put it up about the right price, even should have been, I think, shorter than what we put it up, and we put it up at $1.60, and it never stopped getting out of the market. It got out to $2.30, and as I say, was taken straight to the lead, controlled the race. There was a 80 to 1 chance take off mid race and go and sit up outside it, but couldn't get to the lead. Berry always had control up front, and it was able to stroll away and win by 1.8 lengths from the very well backed second favourite, Strongman. $7 was given Strongman, and it only started $4, hard to get. It mightn't have even started to $4, might have only started $3.80. It did run second, beaten 1.8 lengths to say, and running third was the third pick. So they stoosed us again, the pros and the punters who were there. Monaco Doll is not very genuine, needs to improve its racing manners. It sat behind the leaders on the fence and wobbled around the turn. It's not very genuine, as I say. It races greenly, and it ran third, beaten 3.6 lengths. It was also very well backed. $11 given at one stage, only started $6.50. It wasn't worth a halfpenny. We only gave 95.6% in the marketplace. Then we came to the last, and the captain's got a result here in the form of Akmal, ridden by Robin Freeman Key. She sat outside the leader, Prince Christian, and when they turned for home, she was able to get past the leader and maybe a length in front and hold that position all the way down to the line. And I suppose if it would have got out, the favourite, who was very well backed, which ran second, Animoso, it was directly behind the leader on the fence, and thinking he might get a split inside the leader on the turn, which never appeared, and he finished up getting held up and having to hook around their heels close to the line. Got beat a length, Animoso. and I suppose with the split, split did come on the turn, it most probably would have won. It was a little bit stiff, as we all saw, but by the same token, it's nothing to write home about. The others, excuse me, all had their chance. There was one runner, Hamburg, who made a mid-race move and finished up running last. It got trapped 3 wide and dropped out and was beaten 9 lengths. That's all about, I'd say. That's about all I would say at Hawkesbury. Now here today at Warwick Farm, the usual suspects only turned up, and it was a fairly kleiner meeting. There have been better midweek meetings at Warwick Farm. Today the track was good. They upgraded from a good 3 to a good 2, which didn't suit some horses. Anthony Cummings scratched a horse in the 7th race because of the firm track, Bikini Star. He said, oh no, he said, I can't let my Denny run around on this rock hard track. It was upgraded to a good 2. As I said, the rail was in the normal. There was a steady westerly wind during the day, or the first, say, 3 races, and then there was a bit of a lull in the middle of the day between, say, races 4 and 5, till it turned, the wind turned around, and then by race 8 there was a southeasterly coming across the track. The wind in both directions didn't have any result on any races. Just very quickly, I don't think a leader won all day, led and won all day. No, not that they didn't come through on the fence. And, oh yes it did, the last, of course, Mossy Diva. It was taken straight to the lead, Mossy Diva, in the last, and led all the way. So it was the only leader to win. First race, on the screen it said 111.3. In the marketplace, only 105. 4 horses went around, and the second pick won it. I haven't struck a blow for the favourite yet, Geralian. It did an absolute squillion on it last start when it won at Canterbury. It struck the lottery there. We all saw it. How it won, nobody knows. And today, it went up $1.80. It was in, wasn't laid on. I think it was kept safe, but it was, I think it might have only been returned evens, but it was $2.20 begging at the death, unlayable, and it didn't have a price. The fluctuations on the race, Montasham, who finished up running last, it led. It went from 9 to 2 out to $5.50 out to $6 back into $5.50 back out to 6 towards the death. Blazing Dragon went from the winner went from 280 out to 330, taken into 310, back out to 320. The favourite, as I say, started 220, and there was a bit of money around for Planet Purple. It got out to well, $8 was given in the outside ring, but $6 and $7 was taken on the fence into 650 at one stage, and it started about that price. The winner, it's at 3rd on the fence. It led Montasham. On its outside, the Avery Duralian. Blazing Dragon on the fence, and outside it Planet Purple. When they turned for home, the winner, Blazing Dragon, was able to get inside Montasham and went away and won by 2.5 lengths. Run the race again, it would be clear favourite. Race 2 in the marketplace said 101.8 on the screen. There was only 96 in the marketplace, and this was won by the very, very well. They only backed 2 runners in this race, the winner and the Avery, Scandalised. Scandalised led, and it was in trouble turning for home. It dropped out and finished up running 6th. It finished up running 6th, beaten about 3.3 lengths, and it's going. The rider said it raced a bit flat to Josh Parr, and it's going for a spell after today. The winner was, as I say, the only other runner back. They gave 6 to 4 about Scandalise early. It did start only $2.05 on my board. I was able to lay the 210 and 205, but I was most certainly able to lay the winner as well, Tahitian Black, at $5.50. It went up $5, got out to $5.50, and only started $4.40, hard to get. And it sat in the 1-1 position, and when they turned for home, steered by Horseman Bowman, it was quickly able to ease off heels, and it finished up winning by a length. And coming from 3rd last in the second hole was Quick Peak, who missed the kick slightly. Its run wasn't bad, and the running third was Floral Insight, who sat outside the leader and stuck on to third, beaten 1.2. That's about all to say. There was one runner that was caught wide in the race, Smart Patrol. It finished up running last beaten 5.6. So I suppose being trapped wide was a little bit against it. But the winner got into a lovely position, and I suppose it won like its price suggested. Race 3, there was 104.7 on the screen. There was only a neat 100 in the marketplace, and this was won by the lightly framed filly Medusa's Miss. It sat in 5th position in between runners. When they turned for home, it just got a split, had an uninterrupted run. They fanned, and it was able to go through and finish up winning by 1.5 lengths. For betting in this race, as I say, we only gave 100, and the fluctuations very quickly was Aegon was $5.50 out to $6.50. Amarachi, it was $9 out to $13. Benedictus, they gave $3.50, was $3.20 out to $3.50, back into $2.80 at one stage. Started $3 on my board. It was liable at $3, and of course they did take to $3.50. Now the winner, it was extremely well backed. Medusa's Miss, it went up $5.50, and it was snapped up by the pros straight away. At one stage, if you had up $4.60, they took it off you. It was into $4.40, hard to get, but it did get back out to the $5.50, came into $5 late. Clearwater Bay never had a price, $13 out to $9. 5 Rocks, extremely well backed. It was $5 out to $7, back into $5.50. Exandretta, it was $12 or $13 out to $16, and the bottom one, Merciless, didn't have a price, 51 out to 101. And as I say, very few runners backed. The favourite did firm, was well backed, Benedictus, but the winner was extremely well backed as well. It was, if you gave the top odds the winner, it was hard to escape because they did back it twice. Race 4 on the screen, 105.5 in the marketplace, only 98%, and this race was won by, it was a result, although $21 or $26, and the 21 was taken very late in the piece, talking about Green Tracer, who settled down in last position inside the horse that ran second, Browned Out, who started clear favourite, and Browned Out turning for home. It was hooked. There was a good, solid, fast pace in this race, and it was hooked out wide by Bowman. And look, the winner at the 200-metre mark, you could see it looming up, but getting a middle split and not able to come around the heels of Browned Out was the winner, Green Tracer, and it went through the middle of them, and he put his nose out where it counts and got the verdict on the line to beat Browned Out by 0.1 of a length. 0.3 of a length away running third was Long Rain, who was very easy in the betting. It sat outside the lead and stuck on well, and the leader, Blue Lion, who didn't have a price, it went from $4.60 to $7. It led, as I say, and those pairs set a good solid pace up front, and it ran fourth. They were the first four in the betting, and they ran first, second, third, and fourth. The Long Rain, it was extremely hard to lay. It went up a $3.20 chance, but it got out to $4.20. Always easy in the market, and I might say it might have been a result for the captains, whereas Round Out, $4 was given in the outside ring. It went up a very safe $3.50, got out to $4 in the outer, $3.80 on the fence, but it only started $3.10. It might have fluked $3.20 at the death, but it was very hard to get, and it just failed. It's owned by my daughter and son-in-law, plus a few other boys from the track, and it was a bit of a shame to see them not get the chocolates, but that's what happens in this game. A lot of the other runners that I haven't mentioned, they were all fairly easy in the betting. As I say, there was only 98% there, and it wasn't much good. Race 5, there was 106.8 on the screen, and there were positive figures in this race, about 104, but you couldn't lay. There were plenty of runners you couldn't lay. The favourite, our Desert Warrior, it $6.60 was given in the outside ring. It was laid on $1.50 on the fence. It was $1.55 was laid on at one stage, but it did start that price on the $1.55, and it was hard ridden early to hold the lead, but couldn't hold that position when Red Hot Chilies took off and went around and got the lead, and then Nash had a bit of a bumping duel with Proper Peter Roble on 5.5 star, who was very well backed. Proper Peter, he tried to keep Nash in the pocket, but Nash didn't want him to stay in the pocket behind the leader, and at the 900 metre mark he pushed, kept on shouldering his way clear, and eventually got outside the leader again, Red Hot Chilies, which made 5.5 star race 3 wide from that point on, and it stuck on all right, but it ran finished alongside our Desert Warrior, but couldn't get past it. And winning the race was Rowie, who settled down in last position on the fence and never went around a runner, kept on getting rails runs when they turned for home, and didn't get held up at all. He got through on the fence, and he finished up winning by a half a length from Twisted Emotions, who was extremely well backed. I gave $17 to lose 3,000, and then again to lose another 3, and then another 3, all the way into $10 its starting price, and it sat back in third last position. Hook wide, turning for home, came down the outside, but Rowie was able to get through on the fence, as I say, and beat it by a half a length. And coming from second last in the race was the bottom one, Gerontis, who it was a good thing beaten at his first start at Wagga or Albury, one of the two, and it won fairly well, starting favourite last start, and it came from second last down the outside, beaten 1.3 lengths, and running fourth was the favourite, our Desert Warrior. Subsequent to the race, Nash said that it was making a respiratory noise, and after the race, when it was walking around inspected by the vet, they said it was making a gurgling sort of noise from its throat. So it might have a cold. Anyway, it finished up running fourth, beaten 1.6 lengths. That's about all I would say there. In race 6, here we saw the Easing Our Hand of Faith. Get the chocolates here. It was apparently announced, I didn't hear it, that it was going to be ridden back today, and it was. It went back to third last position, ridden by Horseman Bowman. The fluctuations, it went up $5.50, got to $6 very quickly on so early boards, and it was taken. The $6 was taken into $5.50 early in the piece, might have even been back into the $5, but it did start $7.50 unlayable at the death. And as I say, it settled down in third last position. There was always a good bit of pace up front, set by Wiley Bay. When we saw the favourite go terribly in the first race, that wasn't a good rap for Wiley Bay. Anyway, and the price fluctuations of Wiley Bay suggested it wouldn't be winning either. It went up $6. It did only start 14. It didn't have a price. If you handed the punter a ticket in that race, he'd say Wiley Bay, fill it in yourself. He wouldn't have even bothered. He would have thrown it on the ground and said, no, it won't be winning, I'm sorry. And it led, as I say, and it finished on the fence, beaten about 5 lengths. But after settling down in third position and a fairly solid pace up front, when they turned for home and they fanned, the heavens opened for Our Hand of Faith, and Horseman Bowman just went straight through the gap, straight through the high diddle, and it went away and won easily by 2.3 lengths. The price of the finish did seem fairly generous, $7.50. It did win well. Running second in the race was the visitor, Alabama. Now, wait there. Alabama, this winner was ridden by, I'm Going Bananas. It was ridden by Peter Roble. The second horse was ridden by Horseman Bowman, Alabama, and it settled back in the field as well, and it came through the middle, but it was well beaten. And running third in the race after sitting in about 6th or 7th position was perfect. It pulled on the rider during the race, Christian Reith, also having his chance, and beaten about 2.7. Being trapped wide all the way in the race, well, after missing the kick slightly, well, didn't miss the kick, was an outsider who was extremely well backed. Don't Put It There was $30 into $16. It was trapped wide and let slide by the pumper down the side, and it moved up 3 wide outside the leaders. But that bit of wide run told on it, and it finished up running third last. It dropped out at the finish. The top weight loaded. It hasn't got a run yet. It was kept in a pocket very firmly by Brendan Abdullah on Reboot. He said, "No, you're not getting out Jenny Duggan. You're staying in there." And it went to the line, and it wasn't fully tested, but it was hard to take the race away from the winner. Run the race over again, it would be clear favourite. The best back runner in the race by far, starting favourite was Damo. $6 was given in the outside ring. It went up $5, 4-1. Got to $6 in the outside ring. It did start only $4. The pros had a nice large plate of it, and always firm in the market. Starting second favourite was Asclepios, and it went up $4.60. It was into $4.20 at one stage, but got back out to $4.60 at the finish, and that was about the race. Then we came to the last, and as I said, this was the only leader to win all day. He velodromed a bit here, Father Schofield. He led, he went straight to the lead, which it did in his previous win at Warwick Farm, and it was sat outside the lead, as we know, the other day at Warwick. And it's had 3 starts now in Sydney for 3 wins, 2 at this track and 1 at Randwick. And it was by far the best run in this race. As I say, he velodromed a bit. When he jumped, he didn't go anywhere near the fence in the first 2 or 3 furlongs of the race. And he was good 5 off the fence. And then he gradually, as the fence turn was looming up, he gradually came across to the fence, being maybe a couple off, turning for home. Gave it a dig up, and it found, and it went away to win, and fought on well down the straight to hold them all off to win by 1.3 lengths, Mossy Diva. And coming from well back in the race, right down the extreme outside, was another visitor from Melbourne, Grasscop, who was very well backed. They took $26 off you, started $20, $21 hard to get. It came from well back down the outside to run second, and La Comedienne, who was also backed at around about $21 at one stage of the betting, it ran third, coming from well back, and it copped a bit of a check in the run. La Catamine, and but they had their chance to get the winner, and the winner was too good. Starting favourite in the race was It's Girl. It sat second or third, looking at the favourite all the way, but it dropped out, and the vet ran its hand over It's Girl after the race and couldn't find anything wrong. So, but its run was fairly limited. And as I say, repeating myself again, the best run in the race by far was the favourite, the winner, Mossy Diva. Sydney's Destiny, it was also a bit disappointing. It was well in the market at around about $8. It was taken early in the 7, back out to 8. $8 into $7. $8 into $7, back out to $8. And it pulled up lame. and Nashville Willer was aboard, and he said as far out as 600 he could feel that it wasn't feeling too good in the Tootsies, so he most probably didn't extend it all the way to the line. Well, it did finish up. It finished up running last, beaten 6.8 lengths. That's about all I'd say. The hooves tomorrow are on at Wyong. If you have a bet there, good luck, and we'll talk to you tomorrow evening. Good evening.